Tonight we've been counting down 10 of the worst cases of government good intentions gone wrong. But just because we've reached number one doesn't mean there aren't plenty more examples out there. There's only so much you can cover in an hour. Our final installment is federal education programs. So what could possibly be bad about the government wanting kids to read and write better and improve their math and science skills? For much of the country, it seems like a no-brainer. Andrew Coulson, director of the Cato Institute's Center for Educational Freedom, has been watching for years as good intentions go to die in education. Andrew, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So I want to talk first about Common Core and No Child Left Behind, which seem to be like sides of the same coin. It springs from a sense of good intentions, does it not? We need to figure out a way that we can measure educational results and incentivize people to do better. How come they haven't worked?
Well, the thing that drives up standards, that's what we're talking about, is trying to improve educational standards in the United States. And the thing that drives up standards in the rest of the world is competition. Competition causes people to work harder, to strive harder, to find better, cheaper ways to do things, and we don't have that in education. What the government is trying to do by creating programs to simulate this is just grossly ineffective. We've been trying it for 40 years, have spent trillions of dollars on it, and it hasn't done any good for educational outcomes.
Well, one of the ways we try and figure out what works is there's all these testing regimes. My mother's a teacher, she deals with it on every level, and all of it seems to get grumbling from teachers. We're just teaching to the test, the students are not learning properly. What is the proper way to test outcomes, and how do we incentivize the good ways of doing that?
Well, what you want to do is leave it to the marketplace. Parents want to know how well their children are doing, but not all parents care about exactly the same things. And so if you have a marketplace in education, you let parents choose the schools that are doing a good job teaching their kids and a good job measuring their success in teaching. So with that competition, you'll find a multiplicity of different tests become available, and parents can choose the schools that are testing the things they care about and doing a good job at it.
I suspect that one other thing that kind of grows out of the way that we do education in the United States is that any number of sort of personal predilections become these nasty political footballs. Are we going to teach our kids sex ed at 6th grade or at 5th grade? Do you see that happening and playing out in various other areas throughout the public education system?
Oh yeah, that's a universal pattern, and it goes back in the United States to the 1840s, which is roughly when we started to get the state involved in education in a big way. Whenever you force everyone in a country to pay for a certain kind of education, as we do with public schooling, you're going to have a death battle over what will be taught. And the first time this happened was actually, the first time this happened in a big way, was actually in 1844 in the Philadelphia Bible riots, during which they were arguing over which version of the Bible, Protestant or Catholic, should be used in the city's public schools. Something like 20 people were killed.
Right?
No one won that battle. Tons of people were killed, schools burned to the ground.
Ouch. Thanks for bringing it down. Andrew, very, very quickly, we have to go. We've seen federal per capita spending on students go up 3 times in the last 4 decades, and testing scores are dead flat. Are there areas where policy has actually made things worse instead of flat?
That's a really good question. I think probably there are some areas, but the big story is really this incredible increase in spending with stagnation in outcomes, and that is unique in pretty much every area of human life where progress has been the norm.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much.